Okay, in this little video, we're here to talk about bullets. Bullets are a handy feature available to users of PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, Adobe InDesign, and other publishing tools. However, bullets are often used inappropriately, and I see this in submissions by my students, and I see it in the work of my colleagues and coworkers here at Modesto Junior College and elsewhere. What we want to talk about is how bullets are supposed to be utilized. Now, PowerPoint generally makes it pretty easy for you to succeed in using bullets appropriately. However, some students or people try to override the default settings for the tool. You'll see here that in this particular slide, I have used the layout which is called title and content, which by default gives you a title banner as evidenced here and a content banner. And this can be filled with pictures, text, paragraph, what have you. But by default, meaning by when you just open it up automatically, it sets you up with bullets. And every time you hit the return character, you get a bullet. And this follows the format of Microsoft Word, etc. when you have the bullet setting depressed or pressed in, I guess you should say. So first of all, there's the content of the bullets. Why do we want to use bullets? Oftentimes, bullets are misused in presentation design because they tend to be used for sentences. For example, when I go to the store, I need to buy apples, bananas, avocados, and of course, punctuation is incorrect there. But this is how I see people use them. They use them to make sentences. But bullet points actually shouldn't be sentences. They should be short, bold, quick phrases distinguishing one item in the list from the next. So when we use a sentence when something sounds like it's a sentence, meaning that it should have a period, we should avoid bullets. So this is not a good idea here. However, and then another problem that we have is that it implies a series, meaning a number of things in a list, for example. So apples, bananas, and avocados should be split up because there are 3 items in the series. Then we also see that we have cereal, cat food, milk. We have inconsistency in capitalization, which is a problem. But then we also have this thing called a haircut, which doesn't belong in the list. So when you think of bullets, you're thinking of basically a list of things. They don't have to be single words. However, they should be short phrases that somehow belong to a part of a unified whole. So this is about how we look at the content of bullets, but what we're also going to talk about today and this week, since it pertains to typography and how we set type, is bullets in the design process. You'll notice that when you're using bullets in PowerPoint, they align to the left, which means that they start on the left and we have this thing called ragged right. That serves a very pragmatic function for the reader. The reader knows where the line starts and where it ends, and the fact that it's not right justified, meaning that it doesn't end on the right-hand side at the same exact point, means the ragged right creates an organic line that's easy for the eye to follow, because we are visual learners, whether we think we aren't. We rely on these spatial cues to tell us what line we're actually reading, which is one of the strengths of the ragged right alignment in any context. So what I have had students and coworkers often do when they're setting type is what I consider a tragic flaw of typesetting is they will center bullets or they will right align bullets. But what you have to recognize when you're looking at the line of bulleted text is this strong, clear vertical axis on which the text moves to the right from, at which point it launches from. Whenever we move away from that, we are defeating the purpose of the bullet itself. So what I want to tell you is don't do that. You can have 2 columns of bullets or what have you. If you're moving it over to the right, you are breaking the cardinal rule of what the function of a bullet, which is to have a strong left-aligned start of your text. So when it comes to bulleted lists, keep them scant, succinct, left justified, and intuitive in terms of their organization.